And we are back for round two. Once again, we are fortunate to be on the play. I hate these hands. Any hand with double wrench mind and only one black source. I'm gonna risk it though. It'll be kind of a shame if we don't draw another black source. Urborg would be a sweet draw. Whoa. Our opponent is thinking long and hard about whether or not to keep. Surely making such decisions is hard as a random drooler. I wonder if this is intentionally supposed to make you think of the old terrible puns in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, for those of you who are familiar with it. AKA drool monsters. I don't know, different strokes, different folks. Have my beverage here. Oh, Mulligan 6, let's go. You got it. What'd you keep? Remand, Spell Snare, Double Kitchen Banks. I care a little more about Remand than Spell Snare, though. Yeah, that's fine. So it is Double Fink, Spell Snare, 2 lands. Though this deck is cheap to build, it's not amazing for learning the format with, just because you have a lot of these target discard spells, and if you're unfamiliar with how a lot of these decks operate, then it's going to be hard for you to know what to take with an Inquisition, or a Duress, or what have you. From playing this deck a lot, I know that tempo plays like Remand, which give your opponent card advantage, are bigger threats that you have to deal with than things like Spell Snare, especially considering you don't run that many 2-drops. We have a bunch in our hand. We're not worried about only one getting countered. And Kitchen Finks is not a threat we're terribly concerned about. Though apparently neither is our opponent. As our opponent is surely recoiling from the fact that we took their remand, and explains why. Taking their time, You gotta make sure you're making the right plays in Magic the Gathering. It doesn't make sense otherwise. I'm sure our opponent is definitely not double queuing. That is something that no one would ever do. In this game we call Magic the Gathering. or Hassle the Darkening. For you MC Frontalot fans out there, maybe I should be playing music. Make the time go by fast and whatnot. If I had set this up in such a way where I could edit the videos after, then that would be quite simple. But as I'm exporting from Twitch, sadly, you are going to have to listen to my filler. Though if he wants this game to go to time, all power to him. Actually put that to the side for now. Really show off the graphics of these felt green playmats. That you can see. Magic Online. Oh. It's like he's decided he would like to play Magic. Ooh, that's gonna get instantly spell snared. Yeah, I really don't want that getting spell snared. So we're gonna try and bait it out. For whatever reason, my Night's Whispers tend to get countered often, which makes sense. But because you could be in trouble if it doesn't resolve, I don't really want to take that chance here. So we'll let our opponent try to figure out what on earth deck we're playing. If a Runechanter's Pike is really something that needs to get countered. Admittedly, it might just resolve because there's no reason to assume that a Runechanter's Pike should be at all threatening in a format like Modern. But that's the beauty of this deck, is that you steadily just build up it up as a threat with spells like Night's Whisper, Wrenchmine, Inquisition, and your mass amount of removal spells. And sometimes you just do over 10 poison damage in one turn, bring them from 0 to 10. Okay. Looks like he's thought about it and is going to counter it. Fair enough. I should probably take that stuff off for the moment. I drew a second Night's Whisper, which is interesting. If you drew another counter, this will probably get countered. I'm just going to play this Sawtooth Hollow. Obviously taking the Funeral Charm, kind of bummed about bottoming 2 lands, but we have 4 now. Our deck certainly does not need much more than that. If he tries to stick a Geist or something here, we'll slam our Vat Mother. Or Finks. Which we knew he had. I was going to say, if he leaves mana up, we'll probably just attack his hand. But I'm going to take this opportunity to slam this down. Also, very noteworthy, the interaction between Infect and Persist. Because Infect creatures do damage in the form of -1/-1 counters, when this hits the graveyard, it will have -1/-1 counters on it, and thus not persist. I admit I'm not entirely sure what deck we're playing against. I'm seeing a blue or white red kitchen finks list. Generally, you want to attack the hand before doing things like attacking, force them to either use their tricks before combat. Depending on what he does here, I might use the other wrench mind as well. Obviously playing land here because I don't know if they're playing Mana Leak. Snapcaster Spell Snare? Sure. Doesn't that make the correct move here? I can get 2 cards from his hand for free. Ish. If I attack, he can easily double block. And then I kill both his dudes, and I know that one of those cards in his hand is another Kitchen Finks. But if he does double block, then I want a Night's Whisper, so I don't really want to stand up the Nexus. I think we can afford to play the long game with a Night's Whisper in hand. So I'm more than happy to give him that option. He takes it. Yep. And I'll attack his hand. Actually, especially considering we have this Howltooth Hollow out. Getting 2 cards out of his hand seems fine. Bolt Sphinx. He's not playing land, so he probably has something. Ooh, Crusader's a good one. Go ahead and play Vat Mother, because I would rather this not get countered against this mana base, as we saw last game. He might just have expensive things in his hand. That he can't cast. But then why would he have discarded Bolton Finks? Click. Oh, well, he'll take the Crusader, obviously. Let's get those last cards out of his hand. Cryptic. So I can just play land. So I can play the land, cast the Funeral Charm, and kill the click. And then get in there for 5. I think that's fine. You have a 5/0. Now we're in top deck mode, and I'm very far ahead on board.